Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make fingerless gloves. This is a completely customizable pattern. So don't skip this part. I'm going to be teaching you what to do because because this literally just depends on what your hand size. So first, we're going to be chaining the length of your hand. Okay, this part right here. And then we're gonna do as many rows, double the width of your hand. Okay, width times 2. And these are gonna be your rows. Oh, never mind, this is gonna be your rows, like this. And we're gonna do half double crochets only. And we're also gonna do slip stitches, so this is completely beginner friendly. And then at the end, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this rectangle and we're gonna fold it in half. Okay, so this is like the half. And then we're just gonna sew it over here and just over here, and then that hole is for your thumb right here. And then these are just for your fingers. And then this is already gonna be closed because we're gonna fold it in half. Okay. So first what we're gonna do obviously is we're gonna do a slip stitch. And if you don't know how to do a slip stitch, the one which is the most beginner friendly, which is easier, is you get your 2 fingers, you hold it over here, you hold the yarn with your thumb, and you wrap it around your fingers, and then you flip it over, and then into like an X shape, and then you hold the yarn over here with your other 2 fingers, and then you get your needle, your hook, and you put it under this part of the yarn right here, and you take this part of the X and put your hook, grab it, and then let go, and then you have your slip knot. So now we're gonna hold our yarn, so we're gonna wrap it around our pinky and put it above our index finger. So now we're gonna chain the length of your hand. So however long you want the sleeves to be, I usually make mine just until my wrist right here. So I'm just gonna chain that. So if you want yours to be completely the same, I will give you a stitch count, but I'm telling you right now, it might fit your hands, but everyone has different hands. So that's why I made this pattern completely customizable. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm just gonna measure this out from right here where I want my fingerless gloves to start. So I'm gonna put it right here and then just measure it. So it is until my wrist. So I think it was 16, right? So now we're gonna chain 2 extra for our turning chain. And so in our third chain, 1, 2, 3, we're gonna do a half double crochet. And we're just gonna do a half double crochet all the way down. So how you do a half double crochet is you yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, into the chain, you yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Now I'm just gonna do this, and then I'll meet you when I'm done with this row. So I have finished my row, and as you can see here, my work is curling. This is completely normal. If it happens, don't worry about it. It's gonna get fixed. You can just stretch it out if you want. So now we have our double crochets all done. And now I want each row, because I used to make this mistake a lot when I was still a beginner. I used to get confused with the turning chain and then make, I don't know, 2, it's because I chained 2 when I was a beginner. I used to make 2 double crochets there too, and my work would increase, and it was not good. I used to have to restart a lot and then start counting. This is why I always telling you to count your stitches, because when I was a beginner I didn't do that and I regretted it so much. So now we're just gonna do our second row, and we're just gonna do rows until it's as long or double the size of your hand, here. So I'm just gonna do that, and then I'll tell you at the end how many rows that I've done. And then I want you to chain 2, but do not, because this counts as a half double crochet, do not crochet, do a half double crochet right here. I want you to skip that stitch and go into the next one and then do your half double crochet. When I'm at the end of the row, I'll teach you how to do crochet in your turning chains. Okay, as you can see, my work is still curling, but you can just straighten it out. Don't worry, it's completely normal. Don't like stretch it out too much, just like smooth it out with your fingers like that. So I'm at the end of the row, and now I'm going to do 1 half double crochet in the turning chain that I did, that I showed you. So we're gonna count. I don't know if you can see it, but I want to like put the camera a little closer, and you can, I don't know if you can see, but there's 2 chains right here. This is 1 and this is 2, and we're gonna make a half double crochet in the second one. So I'm just gonna insert my hook into the second chain and then pull up a loop and then pull through all 3 loops. Now we're just gonna be repeating this until it is until it's long as double the width of your hand, and I'll see you when I'm done. Okay, right now I have the width of my hand plus an extra row, because obviously your hand is not flat, so you're gonna have to do 1 extra row, not exactly like double the width. You're gonna have 1 extra row or 2 extra rows depending on how thick your hand is. And also, when you are counting your stitches, the chain 2, the turning chain, does count as a half double crochet, even though you didn't make it as a double crochet, but because it is the same length as it and the same width, it will count. That's why I told you guys to skip this one, because this is already there, and when you count your stitches, you're gonna count this as 1, and then your first half double crochet you're gonna count as 2 stitches. So because I did 16, I'm actually gonna do a chain 2, which is my first half double crochet, and then I'm gonna do 15 more, and then that'll be equal to 16. So now that I've finished my panel, I'm going to measure my hand here, and you're gonna fold it in half. It might be a little snug, but the yarn is going to stretch out anyways. So you're going to get your you need 2 stitch markers for this. If you don't have a stitch marker, you can use bobby pins or like safety pins or scrap yarn if you want. So you're gonna put your hand here and make sure it's like exactly where you need it to be, because I want this to start right here. So I'm gonna place my hand like this and then fold it. It's gonna be a little snug. There's gonna be some holes, that's completely normal. So you're first going to count like the stitches. You're gonna get your stitch marker and count the stitches where your thumb is. You don't need to fold it, but you're going to need to, like in the end. So you're gonna make sure that it's like snug when you do it. If you don't want it to be too snug, you can do an extra row if you want. So you're gonna put your hand there and make sure your thumb is like not make sure this part is not picking up like this. You want it to be like this, just this part right here where your bone starts, not the web right here. So we're gonna put our stitch marker where the thumb hole will start and will end. So now I'm just gonna close the stitch markers. And now what I'm going to do, since I've done it, I'm gonna fold it in half. Then what we're gonna do is gonna hold our yarn. It's not ideal, I know. You can just cut a long end and then sew it together if you want, but this is how I do it. I think it's more secure. You're gonna line it up, and then you're gonna put your stitch marker on the other side as well. So I'm just gonna take it up because I put it weird for some reason. Make sure your both halves are lined up and then put your stitch marker also on the other side. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for this one and put it in both. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna get your yarn, get your hook, put it into every single stitch, even the one that, like right here where it already is. I'm gonna put it in there as well. And then we're gonna put it into the stitch over here. It's not really a stitch because we did crochet this before, but we did crochet in this. So this one is gonna look a little weird. That's completely normal, that's completely fine. So we're gonna do a slip stitch. So you just insert your hook into whatever, and you yarn over and pull through all of the loops. And we're just gonna keep doing the same thing. This way it is more secure than just regular stitching. If you want to do regular stitching, that's completely fine, but I will not show it in this video. And then when you reach the stitch markers right here, you are going to only slip stitch into the one side, so it's like a hole to put your thumb into. So right here, as you can see, I'm gonna do a close-up. My hook is only inserted into one side and not both, so there is a hole for your thumb. So I'm just gonna yarn over and pull through all the loops, and you're just gonna do this until you reach your next stitch marker, and you're gonna keep doing the same thing until the end of the like the end of the row, I guess. And so then when you reach your next stitch marker, you're just gonna do the regular thing. You're gonna, like where the stitch marker is, you're still gonna crochet one loop. Then at the end of that, you can take out your stitch markers here if you want, but now I'm just going to crochet and slip stitch into both sides now, and you're just gonna keep doing that until you reach the end. Now that I've reached the end, I'm just gonna chain one just for security, and then I'm gonna cut a tail and then pull out the loop and put it tight. Now I'm gonna take out my stitch markers, and I'll teach you how to weave in your ends without a darning needle, to make sure it's like pretty secure. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna stretch this out, because at this part slip stitches are pretty tight tension. So if it isn't like doing that like how it was before, if it is, then just stretch it out, it's completely fine. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get your end and then just get your hook and put it into random places. Put your hook like that. You're gonna weave it in like this, and you're just gonna, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna put it to one hole, and then if it is ply yarn, if it's not, just keep doing it just keep doing like this until you can't see this anymore. But because this is ply yarn, I'm going to unply it, and I'm only gonna get 2 plies. This is a little difficult. This is really good, like weaving, how to weave in ends, especially if you're giving a gift to somebody, because if you're gonna crochet a gift for somebody, I'm guessing that that person doesn't crochet. If they do, they totally know how to weave in the ends after. So we're just going to make 2 knots right here, and then cut off the excess like this. I'm just gonna put that off to the side. You could save this if you're gonna make a plushie or something, but if not, you can just throw it away. I'm gonna do the same over here. Let me just show you. Okay, so I'm just gonna weave it in. If you want, you can undo the plies as well, like how I did before. I'm just gonna put it in the next, hold on. I'm gonna put it in the next hole right here. And I'm gonna grab it and pull it through, and then I'm gonna tie a double knot so that it doesn't undo. You don't have to do it like this if you don't want to, obviously. This is just the way I do it. And you're just gonna cut it off. And then I want you to turn your gloves inside out. Then you have your glove.
Okay, there were 2 videos.